AUSF1 draft night is here on your Sunday night. Can't wait to get into it. Some very packed drafts, tier pots, I should say, and should be interesting to see where everybody falls. But thankfully, I am not in the box alone. I have two fantastic gentlemen alongside me, Ashton and T8. How are you guys on this lovely Sunday evening?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Scotty. Very excited to get into all three tier pots. Heaps of competitiveness all through these three tiers. Unfortunately, there's going to be quite a few people who miss out, but it's just going to make for some extra competitive racing during our ninth season, which I'm very, very excited for.
And T8, how are you?
Yeah, Scotty. Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. It's good to be here. I always look forward to a draft, no matter what league it be. And yeah, it's been a minute since I've been in the AUSF1 box, actually. So yeah, it's good. Can't wait to see how this draft pans out.
Yeah, and definitely some good drivers in the pots. We've definitely seen in some of the preseason races a bit of the pace changes from a couple of these drivers that maybe potentially have moved up a tier, maybe have dropped off a tier, but especially I think tier 2 is very packed. So the TPs, hopefully they've done their homework and know who they're looking for. Obviously, Ashton, you're a TP for Sauber. How are you sort of feeling coming into tonight?
It's a bit of a mixed bag. Definitely not the greatest picks, but at the same time, having the lower picks helps you get a very consistent team. So no matter what picks you have, there's definitely still potential for every team, which is what I'm trying to manifest throughout this draft.
Well, looking at the TPs, we'll go to the official TP graphic. There's your team principals on screen. Ashton, as you just heard, in the Sauber. We have Bridgie in the Aston Martin. Aussie 2K Goat holds Ferrari. Tyler is in the Racing Bulls. Haas belongs to Bazza. Mozza is in McLaren. Seb K21 has Red Bull. Jetman, somehow not in a Haas, he's in the Mercedes leading that team. Logan is in the Williams, and Zandon holds Alpine. So, fellas, how are we looking at sort of those names as TPs? Fair few of them have been TPs before. Ashton, obviously your competition, sort of give us a bit of knowledge you may have on those guys leading the other teams.
Well, the top four have all retained their spots from last season, which is me, Aussie 2K Goat, Mozza, and Zen. And so I think that will be a very interesting battle. But then we've also got some relatively newish faces, some fresh faces that weren't around last season. We've got Bazza, we've got Tyler, we've got Bridgie. Bridgie, I think, coming back after a couple of seasons hiatus. Logan, Seb K21, and then you've got Jetman as well. So there's some very, very nice and colourful characters in there. So it's going to be a great TP dynamic. But obviously, I think a lot of how TPs are going to act with their egos will be here tonight. If you get some pretty stinking draft picks, I don't think you're going to be having as much chirp in the team principal chat, which is definitely going to be interesting to see. Some of the louder people have to sit down and be quiet.
Well, I was definitely going to say there's some very strong personalities. I can probably point out 3 or 4 of them just looking at the graphic on the screen. T8, obviously, you've obviously probably done a fair bit with a few of these guys as TPs. How sort of you looking with the TPs and who maybe might be standing out to you?
Look, so like you guys touched on before, there's a couple of returning faces. Some names I'm familiar with, but haven't seen how they've performed as a TP before. So it's going to be an interesting season. Plenty of new faces for these guys. Obviously we've got like Aussie 2K Goat there, Ferrari, who's won championships here before, and I believe he's had some instructors success as well. There's obviously Ashton, who's carried Sauber for a number of seasons now, always puts together a strong team. Mozza knows a lot about. He's done his homework. I believe he gets some good drivers. So McLaren are going to be hard to beat, I reckon. But look, they're all. I don't know how you put it, but they're all I guess respectful drivers, and I'm sure they'll put together a good team, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and as we'll see in the tiers a little bit later on, only 4 of the TPs are full time, so no one's in tier 1. Logan, obviously, the full time Williams tier 2 driver, and then you have Bridgie Seb K21 and Jetman. They're the three tier 3 drivers. So yeah, interesting that we've only got sort of less than half being full time, but I know certain commitments and what tiers they got put in. Unfortunately, couldn't make those nights, but I think they'll still put in a fair effort behind the scenes with their drivers. But after the teams are sorted, let's have a quick look at the calendar before we get the draft underway. Season 9 calendar, there it is on your screen. 17 rounds, so long season. Ashton, I reckon you probably had a little bit of a hand into this calendar. Couple of a sprint, couple of enduros, and then obviously Austria, the reverse race as well. Quick talk about the calendar.
I can tell you, I didn't have a say in it after I made Zandvoort Enduro last season, but I definitely helped design the graphics, so I did get a little bit of a behind-the-scenes peek. And something very interesting to note is the Austria format, both forward and reverse, 25% and a short qualifying, I believe. So how drivers handle having to basically learn 2 tracks for the price of 1 is going to be very interesting, and I think Austria reverse is going to cause some carnage. Additionally, Spa as a sprint is always lovely to see. Not complaining about more of Spa. And then our Enduros moved forward a couple of rounds compared to the end of the season from season 8. Spain and Yas Marina both have a variety of strategies, and I think that will be exemplified even more in the 100% races.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting calendar as we're getting a little bit of a hurry up from the chat. So easy, fellas, trying to build up a bit of tension here. But I think we will start this draft. Tier 1, of course, is first. So as we appear on screen, so left-hand side are the names. So Tier 1, you can see a fair few of the names and some quite competitive names on that left-hand side. And then you got a couple of Tier 1, Tier 2 boys, Lorenz Pro and Verk, so they can be taken in tier 1 or tier 2 depending on the numbers. But I think with how strong that tier 1 group is, they may survive to tier 2. So you can see Ferrari will have the first pick, so first and 20. So pretty much each team will have a pick in the top 10, and then the reverse order, as sort of usual with the drafts, same as last season. So we've got Ferrari the first pick, so that will be Aussie. So I'll move him into the comms box now. So hopefully Aussie is here. We'll move him over as we did have Aussie. We'll try and get him back in. But while we're waiting for Aussie, boys, how are we feeling? A couple of those names on the left-hand side. Who's your favourite potentially to be pick 1?
It's a big list, buddy. There's almost 30 drivers just in that tier alone compared to we've seen in previous seasons where we've sort of been just on the verge of 20. So it's going to be a hard one to guess here. But if I had to pick a couple, obviously we've got the likes of Websy and AUSF1, who are very quick drivers in their own right. Campbell Adam, well, Ryan Cox. There's plenty of here, but look, it's hard to pick a favourite who's going to go first. I'm sure it could be anyone at this stage. So I know Aussie will have a good pick in mind and see how that one goes for him.
Yeah, well, Aussie's in here now. Aussie, evening to you. How are you feeling? And he's on mute, so hopefully we can hear him.
Oop, now we
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
There we go.
on me.
Aussie, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's always good to get pick 1 and tier 1, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, speaking of pick 1, who is the first pick?
Yeah, I messaged him and seen his availability. He told me he might miss a couple races, so that's good enough for me. And but yeah, Ryan Cox.
Ryan Cox, yeah, not really a surprise there. So
Yeah,
hopefully that's updated. Yes, it has. So Ryan Cox, I think there was a couple of names on there that was going to be first pick. We know how quick Ryan Cox is on track. So,
Yeah, good pick there. So well done.
thank you.
all right, as we get the Mercedes TP in now, and that is Jetman. So I'll just drag him in.
Oh, it seems like.
having a couple issues sort of getting him into the box. So we'll try that again. There we go. Jetman, have you got us?
Unmute Jetman.
I am here, yeah.
Jetman, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good indeed. You've got pick 2. Ryan Cox, first one gone off the board, but there's plenty of names. Who's your first pick for the Mercedes team?
I will like Campbell Adams, please.
Yeah, that's not really too much of a surprise, Campbell. We know how quick they've been on the previous game and look just as quick on this one as well.
Yeah, we've been talking close to Campbell, and hopefully he goes well in AUSF1 this year. Or this season, I should say.
Definitely a good pick. So good luck on the rest of the night, but we'll chat to you a little bit later on.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so next one will be Bazza. So we'll wait for him to hop in. But yeah, Ryan Cox, Campbell, Adam, boys. Yeah, not too surprising that those two are the first to win.
Yeah, there's fast names there, and Ryan Cox and Campbell Adam, not really surprised to see them go so early in the draft, and rightfully so. Really competitive and fast guys. They've proven themselves in plenty of league qualifiers, so it's good to see them here this week.
Yeah, exactly right. As Bazza, we got you.
Hi.
Bazza, how are you? Pick number 3 you have. How are you feeling for tonight?
I feel like I got pretty high picks overall the whole board, so should be able to get some good drivers and hope to see some great talent across the whole board.
Well, who is your pick number 3?
Looking at the list, I reckon I'm gonna have to go with MJ Roller. He's seemed quick from what I've seen across the many leagues, so I'm hoping he can do some well under the American team.
Yeah, he looked very, very quick. Raced against him last week at Vegas was put a mighty fight effort, even with the little incident in the middle of the race. So, yeah, MJ, a great pick. Basil, we'll chat to you a little bit later on. All right, as we look towards pick number 4, that is Alpine, and we bring in Zandon. Zandon, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. Pick 4 for yourself. Who's your first pick of the season 9 draft?
Oh, there's a lot of good drivers there. A lot that can help the team, but the driver I'm going to select for this season will be Yusuf Goat to join us here at Alpine.
Boring.
I think that's a pretty certain choice that Yusuf was going to go very early on. And yeah, no surprise, Yusuf Goat in the Alpine pick number 4. I'm surprised. Could have easily gone top 2 in my eyes, but yeah, great pick nonetheless. So, Xanon, we'll see you in a little bit.
Shout.
So next up, we have
Who's reading out?
Tyler. You can if you want. If you can see the draft picks.
I don't think I can.
Well, I think I can. So I do have it. Mercy's just let me know. So for pick number 5, first for RB, and it's the one and only Websy.
Yeah, solid pick there. Websy definitely has a lot of pace on him. Surprised he wasn't probably pick 3 or 4, but Websy definitely a solid shout for a championship battle.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much a no-brainer there for Tyler there. Obviously unable to join us tonight, so he's got a list, and yeah, Websy was right on the top of that. Next driver we have up is the McLaren, and that will be Mozza, who is in. We'll get him in. Mozza, first time we speak to you, how are you?
Hello.
Oh, I'll just turn you up my end a little bit. There we go. Should be able to hear you now.
Hello.
All right. So obviously, I know you're a little bit wounded, but
Yep. Chilling in the hospital right now.
yeah. Pick number 6. A few names off the board. Who are you feeling with your first pick of the night?
Serge Offi.
Yeah, that's a great pick,
Red
Sir
Dot
Josh.
if you heard me.
Yeah,
one.
that's a great pick, Sir Joshy. Very, very solid driver. Did well last season, so it will be a contender up the front.
Obviously was part of my team as well.
Yes, he was too. So, but yeah, that's a great pick. So, good luck with
Cheers,
the
mate.
rest of the picks, and we'll chat to you a little bit later on.
Yep.
So, next up, we have the Red Bull, and that is Seb K21. Sebby, we got you.
How are we?
Good. How are you feeling for the draft tonight?
Look, I must admit, I came in with a plan. That plan blew up before the draft even started, and now we're here. So that's about how well it's gone for me so far.
All right. Well, who is pick number 7 in Tier 1 for Red Bull?
Looking at the list, I wasn't too sure, but based on information I've been provided, we're going to go with Pepsi.
Hello, Pepsi. So in the Red Bull. So Pepsi, yeah, very, very good Tier 1 driver. Haven't really seen much of him on this game, to be fair. So I don't know how well he's feeling on this game. But yeah, definitely a great pick there for yourself. So good luck with the rest of the night, and we'll chat to you a little bit later.
Easy.
All right, so next up we have, there's his name, Logan. How are you? You're on mute if you can hear us.
G'day.
How are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. Pick 8. How you thinking towards pick 8? A couple of good names and a couple of names, and I'm actually surprised are still on that list. To be fair.
Who are you surprised is still on the list, Scotty? Give me a little,
Yeah, I'm
little hint.
not gonna do that. But there's definitely one name I'm looking at.
I'll go with Checkered Flag. Takanda Williams in pick 8.
Yeah, that was the name I was looking at. Very surprised he went all the way down to pick 8. Very, very solid driver. Yeah, very surprised he went that long.
All good.
All right, cheers. We'll chat to you later.
All right, easy, bye.
All right, pick number 9 is the Aston Martin. So that's Bridgie. So I believe we get Aussie back in here. Or I think he's got his list, I believe.
I've just got his pick in my DM, Scotty, if that's relevant.
Yep. All right. So who has Bridgie picked for Aston Martin for pick 9?
So Aston Martin will be taking Finns.
Yeah, that's a
Or F1, if we want to say that.
yeah, that's a great shout. I saw him race around Imola not too long ago, and it was fantastic in terms of pace. So great shout for Finns as he goes to Aston Martin. So yeah, great pick up for Bridgie as we go to pick number 10, and that is you, Ashton. You've got picks 10 and 11.
Now, I'm absolutely stoked that these two drivers are still on the board. So we are picking Viper and Jake Attack.
All right, so Viper goes pick number 10, and
I'm not entirely familiar with either of those names, Ashton. You might have to fill me in.
So Viper was absolutely rapid in preseason, so I'm ecstatic that he's still around at pick 10. And then Jake Attack Chandler's, he was consistently top 5 in OFI, so that is a very, very, I'm very happy with that for pick 10 and 11.
Well, you're getting some raps in the chat, Ashton, so it looks like you got yourself a couple of stealers there, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
And then we are now back to Aston Martin.
All right, so I believe I should have another pick me by Aussie, who is informing me on behalf of Bridgie. And Aston Martin at pick 12, boys, they'll be taking Farmer Sam. Am I there?
Oh, sorry,
you are.
I muted myself. Farmer Sam picked 12. That's a great call. Goes to Aston Martin. So Finns and Aston Martin. So that's a very strong lineup for Aston Martin. I believe they've been teammates before recently, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, great. Oops, that's the wrong one. Great team that one is. Just got to quickly get Viper back into the Sauber team for you, Ashton. So while we're doing that, we'll go to our next pick. So that is back to Williams and back to Logan. So we'll get him back in. Logan,
Oh.
who is partnering checkered flag for Williams Tier 1?
I've had this bloke on my mind the whole time, but I think I might have to go with a late change after a slight persuade. I'm gonna go Eckham. I think I was gonna go Bargerman Cam, but I'm gonna go Eckham. Is that right? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep. Eckham
Okay, sorry, yeah.
in pick 13. Yes, got it right. Yeah, that's a strong lineup. Those two. So yeah, I think that's going to be you've picked yourself up a very strong Tier 1 lineup there. So yeah, we'll
So just 2 tiers to go.
just 2 tiers left to go. But we'll have a chat to you a little bit later on.
Easy. Bye.
All right, as we quickly change that. As we get in pick number 14. So it is back to Seb. So get Seb back in here. Seb, second
Gentlemen.
pick. Who are we thinking?
Yes. Second pick. This one's a little bit easier, to be honest. My plan has kind of worked out here. I'm gonna bring one of the boys up that sitting there in that pool of drivers that can sit between 2 and 1, and hopefully one of them can step up for me and score some points. And Lorenz, bro, welcome to the Red Bull Racing team, Matt.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Gone for the Tier 1 2 selection there.
Yeah, a little bit different. So Lorenzbro will be racing on Monday nights. So strong lineup. So Lorenzbro's look decent on this game. I haven't raced. I think I've only raced him once, but I think he had the pace on me, so quite easily. So Lorenzbro goes to Red Bull. So that's 14 picks. Seb, we'll see you in tier 2.
Yeah, beautiful lads.
Next up, we have Mozza back in. So drag Mozza back in. Mozza, your second pick for tier 1.
Hello.
So who you thinking?
Rocks.
Yes, that's
Cool.
also another name that I felt probably could have gone a little bit earlier on, but great pick. So yeah, you've got a really nice tier 1 lineup as well. Mozza, thank you. We'll chat to you in a little bit.
Is tier 2 next.
All right, so next up we have the RB of Tyler. So just waiting for that pick to come in.
I think we've got it.
And, actually, I like that name. So for pick number 16 in Tier 1, RB secures the services of Bargerman. And that is also a great pick. We said these pools were very loaded, and that is your reason why Websy and Bargerman as teammates. That is a hell of a strong pairing in Tier 1.
Yeah, that's a dangerous team they've got there at RB. So, and yeah, you mentioned how competitive it is. There's still so many solid names there, like KLX, Jamie. There's just so much to choose from here, and we've only got 4 picks left. It's amazing how stacked this tier is.
drag Xanon back in for Alpine. So Xanon, you've got the next pick. So still a couple of decent names up there, or a few decent names up there. So who's going and partnering Yusuf?
There's a lot of good drivers up there. It's very hard to choose because all of them definitely do deserve a seat. But I'll choose someone that I do know and I think will work really well with Yusuf. Who'll also be up there. I'm going to select GLX Cam.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Cam goes to Alpine, and yeah, I think that's Cam has got good pace on this game as well. Yeah, he's definitely right up there if he can fix the couple of consistency issues. But he's absolutely wrapped in qualifying. So yeah, Cam's definitely a great pick for Alpine. So thanks, Xanon. We'll chat to you in tier 2.
Ciao.
So next one we have is Haas, which is Bazza. So we'll get him back in. Bazza,
Hello.
few names left on the board. Pick 18. Who are we thinking?
I was thinking, yeah, it's a lot of picks, and I think a few might have been taken throughout the start, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Lemon Gust for this one.
Lemon Gus goes to Haas. Sadly, one name that I'm not very familiar with. If the other boys in the box might know a bit more.
He has raced the AUSF1 last season, maybe the season prior as well. My memory's not the greatest, but yeah, from what I saw, he has some potential. Yes, it's good for him to see, and hopefully he goes well.
Wishing good things for Lemon Gust. Bazza, thank you. We'll chat to you a little bit later. So we'll get Bazza out. We will get Jetman in for the second last pick of tier number 1. Jetman,
Hello.
second last pick. Who is partnering Campbell Adams?
This one's a tough one because I rarely know these guys, but a few names stood out to me, and I'm gonna go Glob Drip.
Globdrip goes into tier 1. So Globdrip was definitely quick towards the end of last game. I don't think I've seen much of him this game, but if his sort of trajectory improved like it did towards the end of last game, he'd definitely be a fine partner alongside Campbell. So yeah, very nice work from you, Jetman, and we'll see you in tier 2.
Sure will.
All right, and then last but not least, we have Aussie. So we'll get Aussie in. Do that. Aussie, who is partnering Ryan Cox for Ferrari?
Bloke got picked that number 1 pick a fair few times, but this time it's actually picked 20 KLX.
Yeah, I was wondering if KLX would go or not, but KLX is your final pick in the tier 1 draft. So I must say there's definitely a few names on that list that were not picked, unfortunately. And that was sort of the risk, or sort of it got to be the occasion about who would miss out. And yeah, that's some strong names that are missing out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's incredible. Just still left there, good quality names there as well. So, look, that was the risk they took with the amount of sign-ups in tier 1, but there's going to be a lot of competitiveness to try and get those seats when they inevitably become available throughout the season, and I'm sure the TP is going to be pretty safe when it comes to reserve drivers as well this season.
Yes, obviously don't sort of be a little bit. You can be a little bit disappointed not getting picked, but as I said, definitely some reserve seats, and then we've had in the past, obviously, a couple of full-time seats open up early on with sort of circumstances changing. So you may get a full-time seat sooner rather than later. And the best way to sort of make sure you get that full-time seat is to obviously reserve and sort of show the pace and show what the TPs missed out on. So that is tier one, and as I said, that's going to be a hell of a grid. There's definitely a couple of teams that are going to look quite strong. Obviously Ferrari, Mercedes as well, Webbs in Bargeman for RB, even McLaren as well. So it's very hard to pick a winning team from that. It's all going to be all about consistency across the 17 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one hell of a grid, and it's a winner just at the so I'm excited to see how tier one goes. That's an incredible fit right there.
Yeah, exactly right. As I just open up all my tier 2 files. So we'll have a quick look at the tier 2 draft. So while I'm sort of getting a little bit behind the scenes, do you boys want to have a bit of a chat at a couple of those names on the left-hand side? Because it is a very strong tier 2 lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we've got what, like, well, Lorenzo probably shouldn't be there anymore. I don't think he can cover two tiers.
Yeah,
but,
I'll change that in a minute.
But we've got what 20, like 30 drivers in this tier. So unfortunately, 10 people are going to have to go undrafted. But at the same time, it's going to be a very cutthroat tier. There's going to be a massive reserve pool to fill from if you're not performing. So it's definitely going to be an interesting dynamic of a tier 2. Can't wait because it's going to be extremely competitive with this amount of drivers.
Yeah, you could almost call it a tier 1.5 just from looking at some of those names, mate. It's a lot of guys were knocking on the door of tier 1 time now, like Daniel Starr, eBay Boy, Jake Ashmash, those sort of guys come to mind. And there's even a few names that have been tier 1 in the past and have fallen down to tier 2. That's just how competitive the grids have been for this draft tonight. And of course, we've got Verk as well, who was tier 1 eligible, but he's fallen down to the tier 2 pool. So yeah, it's really going to be intriguing to see who goes where, just who might unfortunately miss out, who probably deserves a seat. There's just so many names to choose from.
All right. Well, we'll get the road show. I can't even speak. Show on the road, and it is going to be Haas, and it's going to be Bazza. We'll get him straight back in. So, Bazza, you've got the lucrative pick number 1 in tier 2, and I reckon you probably got one of the hardest choices of the night. All those names. Who is going to be the first pick for Haas?
Well, yeah, as like you said, Scotty, there's a lot of good names out there and a lot of fast drivers. But I think one has standed out to me across all leagues, across all races that he's raced in this game, and that's JK Mash.
I love that pick, mate. Well done.
Oh, there we
Quality
go.
like
So, what was it? J Cash Mash, we saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was fairly obvious. I'd even say potentially even pick number 1. Sorry, it could have nearly been tier 1. And he
I think he
comes.
started tier 3 last season, and now he's pick 1 later. He's got some good pace in him, J Cash.
Yeah, that's a very, very good pick. Bazza, thank you. So we will drop Bazza back in there. So we have Williams, and that is Logan. So, Logan, we have you in here. So, obviously, only the one driver selection for you in tier 2. Obviously, you are the second pick. So, who will be your teammate for tier 2 this season?
Look, I only talked with 2 drivers because there was only one driver that could go before me. It's a little bit disheartened by Cash Mash going, but I did have a good chat with this driver, and I'm gonna pick Toddy. We're gonna roll it in tier 2.
Yeah, that's a great pick, Toddy. He could have easily been tier 1, tier 2. So yeah, Toddy, that's a great thing. Where is Toddy? There he is. Yeah, that's a great pick, Logan. So it'll be a while before we speak to you again. But yeah, Logan, Toddy, or Worms, a very strong lineup. So congrats for your pick, and we'll chat to you in a little bit.
Easy as. Thanks.
All right, so next pick 3, that is Alpine. So we've got to get back in Xanon, I believe. So we'll jump him back through. Zandon,
Hello.
pick 3 for you. Tier 1, a lot of names on the board. Who are we thinking?
I'm going to be honest. Toddy was the only driver I actually know on this list, so I'm currently reading it as we speak.
There's definitely some really good names, though.
Want to give me some hints, please?
No, I can't do that. I didn't do it to Logan before, so I won't do it now.
If I were you, Zenon, I'll just take Pac-Man and move on with the day.
I'm gonna take Scotty. I'm gonna take you, Scotty.
Oh shit. Definitely. I don't think I'm third on the list, but I very much appreciate the pick. But yeah,
You're the only driver I know.
we'll do some good stuff in our team. But obviously, consistency is the name of the game. So hopefully, I can bring home the points for you. But yeah, that's very happy to go pick 3. So as I said, some very strong contenders. So yeah, very lucky to be picked up there. But we'll give it a good crack for our team. But Zandon, thank you. We'll chat to you a little bit later.
Cheers.
All right, so pick number 4, that is Ferrari. So we will get Aussie back in here. Aussie, pick number 4 is yours.
Yep. I'm going to take Daniel Starr.
Yes, Daniel
The
Starr.
I'm not right understatement there, Aussie.
Yeah, some reason that didn't surprise me, that pick.
No, it's a good pick, Daniel Starr. He's always consistent, always fast, so it's a well-deserved spot for him.
Yeah, had some nice battles towards the end of last game, and I think I had a couple of good battles with him at the start too. So yeah, definitely a great pick, Daniel Starr. Going to pick number 4 for Ferrari. Aussie, thank you. We'll speak to you in a bit. As we've got Tyler in, and yes, we have Tyler's pick as well. And going to RB is the other driver that was tier 1 and 2. Verk is going to RB. So great call from Tyler. Obviously would have been one of his first names on that list, and he's definitely got his man.
I mean, he's tier 1, tier 2 for a reason. Great pick from Tyler to get that much value at pick 5. Excited to see what Vert can do. Probably dropping down a bit from where he was originally, but was admin decided on that for a reason. So,
Exactly
I'm just
right.
talking shit.
No, it's definitely a good pick. So Tyler's made his choice. Next up, we have Mozza. Mozza back in for pick number 6. Mozza, who you thinking? Still a lot of good names on the board.
There are a lot of good names on the board. I'm gonna go with Protein Group, Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas was a very, very handy driver at the end of last season. Haven't seen much of him in this game, but if his pace hasn't lost any or he's even improved, he's going to be a very handy driver in tier 2.
I feel a little bad because I've never seen that name in my life, unfortunately. You might have to fill me in here.
Did very well.
It was
there was a little bit of controversy over in Inters, but Lucas, a very, very handy driver.
Consistent.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good to. So welcome to AUSF1.
Anyway, I'm gonna go back. You guys enjoy. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, thank you. All right, so it is Sauber next, and that is you, Ashton. So who are you thinking?
This is quite challenging because there's a lot of names I recognise on here, but I'm not sure who's the fastest out of them. Like, there's at least 5 people I'm tossing up and picking. Like, you've got people like Bevo, you've got people like Bozza, so you've got people like the Simo who looked very promising in pre-season, T Salmons. But with pick 7, I am going to take Bevo.
Yes, Bevo. He was very good last season. He was the Tier 3 champion, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, obviously moving up to Tier 2 this season. And can he go back to back with with the championship? I don't know, but it was great calling some of his races last season in Tier 3 here at AUSF1. So, yeah, great pick from you, Ashton. So, we will obviously see who you pick for pick 14 a little bit later. Aston, that is Bridgie. So that will be. We'll just wait for their pick back.
Just waiting to hear from Aussie as we speak. He's been sending me Bridgie's picks as we go.
So Cash Mash Toddy, myself, Daniel Starr, the Proto Group / Lucas, and Bevo are your first 7 picks in Tier 2.
I have just received Bridgie's pick, and unfortunately, it's another name I've not heard of, but I'm sure someone could fill me in here. He'll be taking Zilla. But
Oh, great pick.
That is a very nice pick. He was, I think he had a couple of fantastic races in the pre-season. I hadn't seen much of this driver beforehand, but really impressed me in pre-season action. So that is a great pick from Bridgie. He was actually driving, I think, a lot of Aston Martin. I think that was the team he might have been driving for as well. So yeah, that's a great pick from Bridgie there. And yeah, nearly a no-brainer. Fantastic pace he had. So that goes to Aston Martin Mercedes, which is Jetman. So we'll bring Jetman back into here. Jetman, pick number 9 is yours. Who are you picking?
I'm surprised this guy hasn't been picked, but I'm gonna go Hado.
I'm a little surprised he's probably gone as far down as well. Yeah, I think we know how quick Hado has been. I think he was a little bit lucky in some of the races, especially that I raced against him. Didn't quite have sort of the luck that he sort of maybe should have had. But yeah, Hado's definitely a good pick. What I'll do, I'll keep you in the call. I'll bring Seb back over because your pick will be very shortly after. So we'll bring Seb in. Sebi, so you've got the
Gentlemen.
next 2 picks. So
Got the next 2.
yeah, so pick 10 first. Who you thinking?
Oh, look, to be honest, there's no kind of order, no plan to this. The boys that I wanted have fallen. So I want Maniac in my team. I believe I was in a team with him on Red Bull previously, so bring him back to Red Bull. Get him in the team.
Yeah, very nice pick.
And look, I mean, some guys have fallen, but you know, I'm just gonna stick with what my guns are. I made these selections kind of earlier, and I just think, you know, I think a decent mix of pace, keeping the car on the track, and some round good blokes in the team makes a solid team. So I'm going to go with Nat Hammer as my other pick.
Yes, always reliable Nat Hammer. Can sneak a good old strategy and nearly pinch a couple of podiums too, can Nat. So in Tier 2, good to see him in Tier 2 as well. I know he's been in a few of the Tier 1s, so good to see him back in Tier 2, where hopefully we can see him up the top and maybe snag a couple of those podiums as well. Hopefully, get that right. Hopefully, that should come up on screen now. And yes, it has. So Nat Hammer pick 11, Maniac pick 10. Seb, that's a very good Tier 2 driver pairing. So good luck to you. We'll catch you in Tier 3.
Yeah, easy boys.
And we still have Jetman in here who has pick number 12. So who is partnering Hado?
I'll go Hendo 7865, please.
So the two H's. Sadly, I don't know a lot about Hendo. Jetman, do you sort of know anything about Hendo?
Yes. I know him from VSC, which we had a draft night a few nights ago, and obviously his pace has shown that he's pretty good. So I thought I would have go on him if he was still there, and yeah, I'm pretty happy that he's still there. So yeah, I'll take Hendo.
Great pick, and Hado and Hendo for yourself. So good luck with your tier 3 picks coming up shortly.
Thank you very much.
All right, I've just heard from Aussie guys about Bridgie's next pick for Aston Martin.
Yep.
So at number 13, a name I have seen for a long while now, but I've never really gotten to see how he performed race. But they'll be taking the Simo.
Oh, the Simo. Yes, I've known that name for a long while. So good to see Simo in a full-time seat and is in the Aston Martin alongside Zilla for Tier 2 this season. So great pick from them. And good thing, sort of struggling a little bit in terms of just trying to have a list of names and hoping that you get some good picks. But I think that's a good pick from Simo there alongside Zilla. That's gonna be a little bit of your underdog pairing, I reckon. Maybe not a lot of sort of not really known by a ton of people, but yeah, I reckon they're both going to be very good on track. So we go to Ashton. It's your second pick. Who are you thinking partnering alongside Bevo?
This is a very tricky one because there's still I'm tossed up between about 5 people. You've got anyone whose name starts with a B could easily slot right into Sauber. You've got Nigel, and you've got T Summon, so it's going to be one of those 5. So I'm going to take Bozza.
Yeah, that's a very nice driver, Bozza. Goes to the Sauber. Yeah, it's a very nice call from you. So the 2 Bs for you, Bevo and Bozza. I think you're going to have a very strong lineup as well. So very nice indeed, Ashton. Thank you. We'll go to Mozza next. Bring him back in. So Mozza, got Lucas for your first pick, who is McLaren's second.
Hang on. Yes.
Yep. Who's your second pick?
I'm gonna go with just before I have to put my oxygen back on. I'm gonna go with Voida.
Oh, solid pick.
I'm surprised he's gone as late as he has Voida Cornet. Been solid for a number of
Well,
seasons now. So
He's McLaren again now. He was McLaren with A-Dog, and now he's McLaren with me.
Yeah, that's a very handy pick for you, Mozza. We'll let you go. Get a bit of oxygen, and
cheers.
we'll catch you in a little bit.
See you in tier 3, lads.
All right, so Mozza has Lucas and Voida. So next up, we have Tyler's pick. So just waiting for that. Oh, yeah, it's come in. So driving in the second RB seat, we have Semi Rara. Semi, what's his username in that one? Semi Ass.
Samurai,
Semi Ass sort of thing. He's been I've had a couple of nice battles with him in the preseason, so good to see him back on the game. Which team have I put him on? Racing Bulls. Yeah, but that was a very nice pickup from Tyler Verk and Semi. So that's going to be a strong RB. Tyler's lucked into with these RBs picks. Just 2 very strong tiers he's picked up. So Tyler might not be here, but he's had a very nice run. Aussie will be the next pick. So we'll get Aussie back in here. Aussie, got Daniel Starr as your first, who is the second Ferrari driver.
Yeah, this too easy, this one.
Okay, spit it out then.
I raced in Lobby 2, the last pre-season race, and I got to see one of the drivers' pace, and he was actually keeping up with me and Hado race-wise for a fair bit until he had an unfortunate spin when the tyres wore. So I'm going to go Risky one to go touchline MC.
Touchline.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of the guys that I wasn't quite sure what their pace was going to be like. So obviously, you obviously having a bit of a race with him, you know, a bit of speed, and if he's got Hado's pace, could be a bit of a sneaky outsider, all the way down in there in pick 17. But Aussie, thank you very much. We'll see you in tier 3. So we've got Zandon coming back in for Alpine. Zandon,
Hello.
pick 18. Couple of, there's probably about, you can even say half a dozen names probably that I've probably felt should probably already gone. Who are you thinking?
Yeah. I've got a couple drivers on my list. T Salmons, eBay. I was even looking at Battlecat. Just that switching from full traction's my only turn off for him. But out of everyone, I'm probably going to select, and I'm not probably, I will select T Salmons to come drive in the Alpine.
T Simmons
solid pick.
goes to Alpine. So my teammate this season, actually, I probably should have given you some a hand, but T Simmons is going to be would have been right up there with my picks. So T Simmons and myself have Alpine. Thank you, Zen. We'll chat to you in a little bit.
See ya.
So last but not least is Haas, and that is Bazza. So we got Bazza in here. Final pick for you, Bazza, and there's probably about 6 names that I would have expected would have gone on this board, and yet 5 of them are probably going to miss out.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. But there's plenty of names here, and some of them definitely deserve seats. But there's not enough room for everyone on the board.
So who are you thinking?
There was a few drivers I had my eyes on, but I might have to go Botanical Bot because he seemed quick, and I reckon he'll pull through throughout the season.
Yes, Botanical Bot goes pick 20 and is the last driver on Team Haas. Bazza, thank you. Actually, just got to make sure that you're not first. I don't think you got first pick in tier 3, do you?
I did not.
No worries. So, chat to you in a little bit.
Thank you.
So, as I quickly do the behind the scenes stuff, there is your 20 drivers. Banana Cake Pie, very stiff to miss out. eBay Boy, Ghost Rider, I would have put him easily top 6 in the championship. He's been rapid in the preseason races. Nigel, Ladozi, Batman. Guys, it's just, as I said, pretty much all those names on that list in the tier 2 only pot. Very stiff to miss out.
Yeah, I mean, there's easily half a dozen that I would have easily picked if I had another pick. BCP, eBay Boy, Ghost Rider, Nigel. The Battle Cat realistically probably can compete in tier 2. He'll go very high up in tier 3. But then also you've got some proper good blokes in there like Batman and as I said, the Battle Cat. So many that are unlikely to miss out, but there's a lot of reserve spots available. So just got to show what TPs are missing out on.
Yeah, and of course we mean that respectfully to the guys who were picked but this tier 2 field. It's just so hard to pick one when you can only have 20. And but yeah, like Ashton pointed out, there's going to be seats that open up throughout the season, probably even before round 1. We've seen that before, so hang in there, fellas. I'm sure you'll have plenty of driving under your belt this season, and who knows, you might still end up with a seat for most of the season. So definitely stick around. It's going to be looking like a real fun season in tier 2.
Yeah, and it's going to be super, super competitive as well. So, as I said, I know a lot of the TPs, if they're in the hunt for the constructors' titles, will definitely want to try and get a very nice reserve. So, obviously, hang around throughout the season, long season as well. So, again, definitely seats can open up. So that is your tier 2 grid. Tier 3 now. So there are your names on the left-hand side, boys. How we feeling in terms of the names? Definitely some good standout ones there, but again, another really strong field. Obviously, Jetman, Bridgie, Seb, those captains have taken their spots, so 17 spots up for grabs.
Yeah,
Well-
tier 3 is always the hardest one, I feel, Scotty. There's just so much names full of guys who probably don't get a chance to play the game as much as what some of your tier 1 drivers might. So, where it can really open up a lot of eyes, tier 3, I feel, the way some of the races go. Like, you get a lot of surprise winners and people you probably don't expect to be going for the championship end up winning. So, it's just going to be really interesting. There's a lot of guys who probably going to go under the radar in these picks. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this pans out. It's going to be real telling.
Yeah, as T8 said, there's like, what, 30-ish drivers in here, 17 picks. So very competitive, but there's just going to be some names that people don't know that will miss out. So you just got to stick around and like show what you're worth, really, because there's going to be so many full-time spots that open up. It's like insane. So even if you miss out here, there's still plenty of reason to stick around. There's going to be reserves every week. Like that, it's going to be. How do I say this? There's going to be lots of opportunities to drive, even if you don't secure a full-time one.
Yeah, exactly right. So obviously, it'd be is unlucky for the guys that miss out, but again, plenty of seats open up, especially towards the end of the season. All right, so I think we're all good to go. So first one up is Red Bull, so that will be Sebi. So jump him back in. Seb,
Gentlemen,
so your final pick for tonight being that you are pick 20, so this is your teammate and you get the best pick in the house for tier 3. Who is your teammate and potentially the championship favourite going into the season?
oh, I mean, look, yeah, there's many factors that goes into being my teammate. I guess one, you've got to be able to deal with me, and what I'm like on a race night. And well, Scotty, that's something that you've been familiar with. And look, it's quite funny.
Plenty.
It's quite funny for everyone else, not as funny as for me. I do love a good old rage. But also being a good lad, so someone I've been around a decent amount, and done a decent amount of stuff in racing with. So one option that I was looking down was Venti. I was thinking about him, but in communications, look, haven't quite got the pen to paper there. So we are going with someone who does a similar role to him, and we're going to go with Slammer as my teammate. I must admit, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Slammer first
So yeah,
pick.
Slammer, welcome
your
aboard.
So Slammer in. Obviously, both of you guys known for your comms work. Seb, you've been in the comms box a few times. Good streams they are as well. But Slammer is in the Red Bull. If I can find that bloody team, here it is. So Slammer. So I think he's going to belch it, being that he was the first pick potentially, and who knows? I think he's, I believe, enjoying the game a little bit more. But obviously, no assists. Slam, I believe, is working on. So, but this will be the final time we speak to you, Seb. How do you feel your draft's gone? Some 6 good drivers for yourself.
Oh, look, ups and downs. Look, ultimately, picking a team is the starting point. It's not necessarily the end point. We'll put some work in over here at Team Red Bull. We'll decide on what we want as a team going forward and what we want to achieve this season. And whatever we decide as a team is how we want to go forward. We'll make that decision and we'll work together to achieve our goals this season.
No, looking forward to what Red Bull can do. Sebi, thank you very much for jumping in across the night, and good luck with the season proper.
Yeah, cheers, gentlemen.
All right, so next one is pick number 2. That is Zandon. Get Zandon back in here.
Begging in Twitch chat for who he should pick.
Hello. Yeah, still don't have a clue. Not very smart. I'm being told a couple people. Hopefully this other driver, I hope he does go to pick 19, But here for my first pick, I'm gonna pick David.
That's a good pick. Man.
That is a very good pick.
Was my teammate last season, and I must say, one of the fairest, respectful drivers I've ever been with. So, got yourself a good one, as Andon.
Yeah, saw him there, and I'm like, good pick. Thank you, Slammer.
Yeah, no, he was a great pick. Obviously, Dave and you, Ted, obviously you were quite close to the Tier 3 constructors. You two worked very well as a pairing. So, yeah, great to have David on the Alpine team. And, yeah, expecting some good things from him this season. So
Yeah, he's a team player, so it's great to see him back. So I'll be cheering him on.
Tyler's pick. So, is that you, T8, who's receiving those picks?
I believe Mercy's receiving it. He's informing Scotty and I would hopefully not too far away.
Oh, and I've got it, and it's definitely a good pick. So pick number 3 going to RB. This man is more so known in the Ferrari, but he'll be driving an RB this season, and that is the one and only Mr. Battlecat.
He was tier 2 eligible as well, back. So Tyler's got himself a good pick there. He's very, very quick. He probably struggled a little bit at the start of last season adjusting to the TC restrictions, but he's really found his form again, and he's going to be hard to beat this season. So looking forward to seeing how Battlecat goes.
Yeah, exactly right. So great pickup once again for for Tyler. This bloody RB team, give them the constructors title already, Nelly. I think. Bloody what a team. Next up will be Bridgie. So again, it will be waiting on a vote for that.
I've just received that, as you say that, Scotty. He returned last season after a stint on the sidelines, and he was pretty competitive every time I was around him on the track. And going to Aston Martin will be none other than Deadly Fuller.
Yes, good to see Deadly Fuller back in the full-time seat. Was definitely very competitive at the end of last season's Tier 3 from the few of the races that I was lucky enough to call. So Deadly Fuller, great pick for Aston Martin and for Bridgie. And actually, I believe they were teammates as well. So I think that's I believe Bridgie was in the Ferrari as well. Yeah, so they were teammates as well. So another pairing back together. So Delhi Fuller and Bridgie. I'll just quickly update that. But yeah, that's a great great lineup, and that's again is going to be a tough team, I reckon.
Yeah, those two work really well together, and the Ferraris, when they were there last year, they were almost impossible to beat on some occasions. So it's going to be the same again, just in a different color car. So watch out for those two guys.
Yeah, exactly right. As we're up to pick number 5, that is Logan. Bring Logan back in here. Logan, been a while since we've heard from you. You got 2 picks in Tier 3. 4 good names gone already. Who are you thinking for your first Williams pick?
Oh, like I actually didn't know. I thought that I had 2 drivers set in stone, and then the way these drivers have been selected, it's just shaking everything around. So, someone who I didn't think was going to get to pick 5, who is in pick in contention, I'm gonna have to go with Matty AU for my pick number 5.
Oh, Matty AU back in the Williams. So good shout, Matty AU. Where is Williams? That one. So yeah, I think that's a great pick up from you, and Matty will do great things with Williams. Logan, thank you. We'll join you a little bit later.
Easy.
So next up we have Haas. So that is Bazza back in here. Bazza, couple of picks left for you. Pick number 6 first off.
Yep.
Who are we thinking?
I was thinking there's still, as I said, across all the leagues, all across the tiers, sorry, there's a bunch of great drivers here. But I've had my eye on this one driver throughout the preseason, I'm gonna have to go with Broseph.
Nice.
Oh, Broseph. Good to see him back in
Yeah.
his seat. Love to see it. Broseph will be in the Haas this season. Oh, wrong one. There we go. It should come up now. So Haas having Broseph as the first pick. Yeah, it's a great pick. Thank you, Bazza. We'll join you for your last pick shortly.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Ferrari. So Aussie comes into the box once again. Aussie, who are you thinking for pick number 7 in tier 3?
I'm gonna go to bloke in this chat, T8.
Oh, piss off.
First time I've been in a Ferrari, funnily enough.
Oh,
I'm
gonna
flat
talk
Aussie.
at you too.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, Aussie. Thank you very much.
Not a worry.
So T8 in the Ferrari. Aussie, thank you. We'll join you for your last pick shortly. So I'll quickly get the other picks sorted. T8, how are you feeling on this game first off? Feeling a little bit better
Well,
than last time?
I'm a little guilty. I haven't actually played it too much, but yeah, look, I'll get practicing, get ready for round 1. Hopefully, I can get up to speed quickly. Just got to get used to the handling and getting all my settings ready and whatnot, and hopefully, I can do Ferrari proud. I know I had the pace in Tier 3 last season to get higher up in the points than I did. It's just a matter of stringing the races together. It's one thing to qualify well in Tier 3, but to actually get the result is a much difficult task in itself. So, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to the challenge, and yeah, can't wait to hopefully do Ferrari proud.
Yeah, well, good luck to you in Ferrari, and hopefully it's good results go Ferrari's way as we have Mozza back in here. Pick number 8 for yourself. Who are we thinking?
Honestly, I'm pretty surprised he's still up there, but I'm going to go Tetris.
Yes, Tetris.
Mozza, I hate you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, as well,
Oh.
my dad.
My second pick was going to be T8, but he was stolen.
Yeah, there's definitely some good names, Mozza. Thank you.
Cheers. See you later.
All right, so yeah, that's a great pick. Tetris in the McLaren, Mercedes, and that is Jetman. So Jetman back in here. Pick 9 for you, Jetman. Who are we thinking?
I'll go arcade gaming, please.
Oh, bro. Both of my picks have been stolen back to back.
Don't worry, mine was just stolen just then.
Solid, very solid pick though. Very, very solid. Arcade definitely has some mega pace for tier 3.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Fantastic pick up for pick 9, especially. Jet, we'll keep you in here because your pick's up shortly. Ashton, it's your turn next, and you get obviously the back-to-back. So picks 10 and 11. You've had a couple stolen from you in the last couple. So who are your picks? First off, pick number 10.
Well, funnily enough, Broseph has just said my 2 backup picks in chat. So for pick number 10, I'm taking Almighty Gob. And for pick number 11, we are taking a pretty mediocre footy player in Kingy.
Jeez, you're trying to sign him, and then you're telling him he's mediocre. Come on, Ashton. But yeah, no. Two great picks for Sauber. So Almighty Gob goes pick 10, and for pick 11, Kingy. Which one do I want? I want that one. So Kingy. What are you, Sauber? Get these things right. So yeah, I think that's a great pairing for you. And I'm blind, Jetman. I know you're back in here. You picking yourself, so clearly I can't read. Before we let you go, if you're still in here. How are you feeling for your picks? You've had a couple of good driver pickups as well for yourself.
I feel okay actually. Not just got pipped at the post by Moz's pick 8, but always have good backups. So yeah, well, first season actually running with AUSF1 Hub, so hopefully it's a blast considering I'm on their TC and I actually feel kind of good.
Yeah, no way. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in the Mercedes, and Arco Gaming and yourself is going to be a very strong lineup. So good luck for the season proper, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
All right, so I'll just make sure that I don't miss Bridgie or Sebi, thankfully. Pick 13, we're back to Mozza. We'll get Mozza back in here for the final time. Mozza, your final draft pick. Who is it going to be?
It is going to be Paulie.
Solid pick. Very, very solid pick.
Which Paulie? Just as a... Sorry, Paul and Hill?
Yep, VSC Paul and Hill.
Nice pick, Paul and Hill. One of our favourite Americans. Great to see him back on the grid. And he goes to McLaren. So, Mozza, thank you very much for joining us from your hospital bed. Hope rest up well. And we'll see you hopefully in the later part of the season in the comms box. But obviously, wishing you all the best in your recovery.
Yep. See you, lads.
All right, so McLaren, strong lineup. Paulie, obviously very consistent, bringing home the points. Tetris as well. That's going to be a very consistent McLaren team, picking up constant points. So as we got next, we've got Aussie for pick 14 for the final time. Aussie.
Yep.
Who is your final pick of the night, partnering the man alongside me, T8?
Obviously had a few of them that I wanted, but they've all gone. So I'm gonna pick a good mate, and that's MPJ.
MPJ.
Nice. Yeah, I've raced MPJ before, and he's a solid guy and a clean driver. So that you picked well there, Aussie. So, great job.
How'd you like it?
I love it. It's gonna be right. I'm flattered to be driving alongside him. So.
Going to be a strong lineup. Aussie, thank you very much for hopping in the box. You've got another strong team as well. Wishing you all the best for the season proper.
Thanks, mate.
All right, as we move on to pick 15, so that will be Bazza. Bazza, your final pick of the night.
Yup.
So who are we thinking alongside Broseph?
Broseff's, he's deserved some good stuff over the thing, and I feel like his teammate, should reflect that he's got some pace, and everyone's got some pace across this league. So I feel like, everyone should have a good teammate. Which I don't know what I just said, but I feel like I'm going to go with Jeneth for that one. For pick 15.
Yes, Jeneth, favourite, one of my favourites to watch drive. And yeah, Jeneth's a very good pick. Him and Jonathan Broseph will do wonders for Haas this season. And you've got a very nice 3 tiers as well. As thank you very much for joining us, and all the best to you and the upcoming season.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got a couple of picks left. Woombs is pick 16. We'll get Logan back in here. Logan, one final pick for yourself. Who's it going to be? A couple of good names, or a few good names still on that board.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Wow, there is a couple of good names. It's going to be a hard decision. Sorry, I might take a second here. I actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Tetris was still in here. He was who I was gonna pick, but I did realise he's off the board now. So I'm gonna go with pick 16 of Williams. I'm gonna go Venti.
Oh, Venti gets a full-time seat, and we welcome him back into a driver's seat. Venti goes
Cheers, boys.
into
Cheers.
Williams. Logan, thank you very
Now,
much.
I don't mean to rain on Logan's parade, but at night at 7:12, Venti said to all team principals, "I've pulled out last minute like your dad should have a couple of years, only looking for reserve roles."
So is this where I get? Do I repick or what's?
Venti, I know you're in the chat. Please just confirm that you're full time, because I really don't want to change this halfway through as we finish. Yeah, no pick.
Okay, no. All right, so another one.
Yes, go another one if Venti's not a full time driver.
All right, I'm gonna do Evil Blade with pick 16.
Yes, nice driver there. Raced with him a little bit over in Wallaby last season, and good driver to have. So Wallaby is your second pick. So we'll just make sure that I've still got the names right. Believe that should replace Venti. Yes, it does. So
Logan.
Evil Blade and Maddie. Logan.
Yeah.
Logan, I'm expecting the check in the mail.
What? Why is that?
I just saved
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for saving me. Yeah, actually, no.
That's right. Logan, you've got a couple of good team members that you'll be leading, hopefully, towards a Constructors' Championship. But congratulations on your picks, and good luck with the upcoming season.
Yeah, you can only hope, and yeah, cheers, Ashton, for that as well.
No problem, bro.
All right, so pick 17 was Bridgie, so obviously picked themselves. So Bridgie and Deli Fuller, a very strong lineup for Aston Martin. So we'll move on to RB. So we'll be awaiting Tyler's pick, and we have that in already. And the last driver for RB partnering the Battle Cat, and that is the one and only Broken Reptile. So, very nice driver indeed. Broken Reptile. Seeing him sort of come back a little bit to league racing, seeing that name around for pick 18. A little bit of a bargain, actually. So, that's going to be a strong RB lineup. As I've probably called for like the last 45 minutes, that all three RB teams are going to be very strong, I reckon.
Yeah, I think every team is looking extremely healthy with all these draft picks, nice and fresh to pick from. Of course, it means some people are going to miss out, but it means, as I've said about 1 billion times, the racing this season is going to be pretty much must watch.
Exactly right. As we've got one driver left, so Seb picks himself, so he partners Lambert for first and 20. So we've got Zandon left. So we'll jump Zandon back into here. Zandon, final pick of the night. So who is partnering alongside David with the names left on the board?
Yeah. Oh, damn it! I was going to say Ashton, but he's actually the team principal.
Not even on the list.
Sadly.
Oh, well, okay, that is a sentence I didn't expect to hear.
I'm going to go Peanut. Thank you. This is Ashton's suggestion. I'm going to go Peanut. Sadly, there was no Shining Swarm, but still. I'll go Peanut. The Nutman himself. Okay, I take that sentence back.
So Peanut, partners, David, Zandon, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and all the best for the season, properly for yourself and our team.
Yep. Thank you, and thank you to you guys for hosting it. It was an absolutely stellar night.
All right, so as we look at your 20 drivers for Tier 3, Slammer gets pick number 1. But as you have a look further down, again, some really strong pairings. T8, yourself and MPJ. You've got the Aston Martins, Deadly Fuller and Bridgie, Gobby and Kingy. Could score some good points for Sauber as well. It's a strong lineup, and definitely a couple of the names on the left-hand side missing out as well.
Yeah, I've said this about 100 times now, I think, but the amount of full-time opportunities and reserve opportunities the 6 or 7 blokes on the left are going to get is unparalleled. Like, there's no point just leaving because you didn't get a full-time pick. You can easily become a full-time driver by round 2, so just make sure you stick around and show what the TPs are missing, show yourself to the TPs and show them what they're missing out on.
T8, after seeing your competitors, how are you feeling? If he's there.
Yeah, sorry. And yeah, it's like Ashton pointed out, it's feel
And
too disheartened if you weren't picked as obviously it's just so
sadly, we've lost your T8, breaking up massively through there, unfortunately. So we sort of missed most of that.
look at play around. They'll be. Is that better now?
Yeah, got you now.
All right, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, just to sum it up, it's just so hard for everyone to land a seat with so many drivers this time around compared to previous seasons. So stick around. There'll be reserve seats open up every week. It always happens. People plans change. Sometimes people just can't commit anymore. So there'll be seats that open up. So just stick it out, see how you go, and sure if you remain active and keep participating, you'll find a home pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly right. So, obviously, a lot of guys missing out, but definitely some plenty of good opportunities. So that is your 3 tiers done. We'll go over them very shortly, but let's have a look at how each team will lined up. Starting first with the Alpine team led by Zan, and in Tier 1 they have Yusuf and Cam. Tier 2 is myself and T. Simmons, and Tier 3 David and Hina. Strong team. I'm a little bit biased in saying that, but I think me and T. Simmons will do well. But Yusuf and Cam, very strong Tier 1 lineup.
Yeah, I mean, if Cam fixes those consistency issues, he's been absolutely rapid in qualifying. So if he can just keep it, if he can keep all 4 wheels on his car for the 30 odd laps of races, that Alpine team is going to be absolutely cooking.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard to beat Aston Martin now. And Bridgie will have Finns and Farmer Sam in Tier 1. Zilla and Simo, I reckon one of the dark horses for the Tier 2 Constructors Championship. And in Tier 3, Deadly Fuller and Bridgie himself, the TP. Another strong lineup for the Aston Martin team.
Yeah, Bridgie's really done his research on this team. 3 of those names I'm not too familiar, but he's obviously noticed of them all, and he's confident that they can bring in results for Aston Martin. So, yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how that group of drivers goes this season. It's going to be looking like a real dark horse, as you mentioned, Scotty.
Most definitely. It's the wrong one. Go back to that one. Red Bull is Apollo and Lorenzbro. I think I might have stuffed up the thing. Oh, no, I didn't. So, Red Bull, Seb K21. So, Apollo and Lorenzbro are Tier 1. Tier 2 is Maniac and Nat Hammer. And then Tier 3, Slammer and Seb K himself.
Yeah, I mean, that team is definitely filled with a bunch of absolute, how do I say this without champing someone? Absolute legends. Like, all of those people are very great blokes and really good blokes, sorry. And they're fast to boot, at least most of them. from my knowledge, haven't seen Seb race in my time around league racing, so hopefully he's got some decent pace to showcase.
Yeah, should be a strong team. Sorry, go.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm not looking forward to going up against that tier 3 lineup. Slammer and Seb, they're incredibly for their field that they're in. So Rebel, they're going to be hard to beat. Tier 2 as well, Maniac, solid as always. Nat Hammer, after being in Tier 1 for such a long time, I think he'll go really well in Tier 2. It might just give him that confidence booster he needs to get those results up. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Rebel this season. They've got a really good lineup.
Yeah, looking forward to see what Seb can do as a team principal as well. Mercedes up next, and Jetman leads the way in Tier 3 alongside Arcade Gaming, Hado and Hendo in Tier 2, and then one of the fastest guys in Australia, Campbell Adams, alongside Glob Drip. That is a strong Mercedes lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Campbell's showcased a number of times that he probably is the fastest driver in Australia. Like, he carried, well, not really carried because Websy and Yusuf doing a massive shift, but he raced most of the AUSF1 races in OFI for a reason. He is extremely fast, and if Jetman can motivate him to turn up week after week, it's going to be very hard to take down Campbell, probably unless you're one of those top 6 or 7 draft picks.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough to beat. But as I said, we've got a very strong Tier 1 lineup. As we head to McLaren Mozza with Sir Josh and Zox in Tier 1, Protein Group and Voida Cornet in Tier 2, and then Tetris and Paul and Hell round out Tier 3 for McLaren.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mozza really knows his picks well, and he's shown that in Tier 1 with Sir Joshi and Zoc, who I believe were his drivers last season, if I'm not mistaken, for Aston Martin in Season 8. So he's stuck with those guns there in Tier 1. Tier 2, he's picked up Voida Cornet, who's very fast and ultra consistent. I haven't heard much about Protein myself, but from what I've been hearing, he's hella quick, so I'm sure he'll be one to look out for. And then Tier 3 doesn't get any better than that, does it? Paul and Hell, really solid driver. He knows he might not be the fastest driver in the Tier 3 grid, but very consistent and brings in the points. And where do you even begin with Tetris? He's a former champion in Tier 3 as well, so he's going to be really, really hard to beat. So McLaren are going to be up the pointy end this year, and it's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, look for them to be right near the top. As we switch over to Haas now, Baz's team, MJ Roller and Lemon Gust in Tier 1, J Cash Mash. My personal favourite for the Tier 2 Drivers' Championship alongside Botanical Bot, and then Tier 3 you've got Broseph and Jenneth Lee.
Yeah, it's looking up for Haas. They've got some really solid. The MJ Roller, who I'm familiar with him. He's been around for a couple of seasons now, primarily been in Tier 2, so I'm really excited to see how he goes in Tier 1. Lemon Gus has shown good potential as well in the time he's been around. Tier 2, this is going to be, in my opinion, this is the strongest Tier 2 lineup I've seen so far. J Cash and Botanical Bot, both really quick. J Cash, I said earlier in the night, he started Tier 3 last season, went undefeated, he was promoted, and he's gone pick 1, so yeah, probably the hands-on favourite at the moment, just on paper, to wrap up the championship, but it's a tight field, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. In Tier 3 as well, Broseph returning to the league, and then Jenneth as well. So they work really well together, as we've seen before in other leagues, so yeah, that's going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah, very, very solid lineup all around for Bazza leading the way. My personal favourite at the moment to win the overall constructors, that is the RB and Tyler. Websy and Barjam in a very strong Tier 1 lineup. Verk and Sam in Tier 2. And then you got the Cat and Broken Reptile in Tier 3.
It's, yeah, like you said, Scotty, I think RB, I know we haven't even done a race yet, but it's hard to look past that RB lineup. Obviously, Websy and Bargman and Cam, some of the fastest guys you'll see in the region in Tier 1 right there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be looking forward to coming up against those guys if I was in that field. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. Verk, who another guy who like Nat Hammer I spoke of earlier, who's been in tier 1 for a long time, but probably just needs that step down to tier 2 for a season, just for a confidence booster, get his pace back and start bringing in some good results. And yeah, Verk's going to be one to watch. Sam as well, making his comeback after a bit of a time away. So if he can just get his head in the game and get the pace up that we know he's had before, tier 2 again is going to be just like tier 1, right at the pointy end. And then obviously you got tier 3 as well, back at fast as always. We've seen that for a long time now. Broken Reptile, he's been in and out the last couple of years, but you know, once he gets a few races under his belt, he's going to be right up there as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to racing those fellas.
Yeah, as I said, that's it's strong guys in their own right. But as 3 sets of pairings, as I said, I think that's going to be one of the strongest. It's all going to be all about consistency through the 17 rounds, though. But we'll see what RB can do. Next up, we go to Ferrari, and the first pick in the draft tonight, Ryan Cox, is alongside KLX, Daniel Starr, and Touchline MC lead a strong tier 2, and then yourself T8 and MPJ rounding out our third tier.
I'm going to be a little biased, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the team Ferrari's pulled together. Ryan, very hard name to know of. KLX as well. Very surprised to see him go last in the picks in tier. You know, he's going to be up there as always. And then you got Daniel Starr, who's former tier 2 champion as well, so he could end up being a 2-time champion. We never know. And then we got how do you pronounce that? Sorry,
Touchline MC.
Touchline MC. Yeah, not a name I'm familiar with as of yet, but I'm excited to work with him. And yeah, I got paired up alongside MPJ for tier 3, and yeah, I've raced him before. He's been in chats with him. He's a lovely bloke and really good driver. I'm excited to race alongside him and get some good points going for the team.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fascinating fight with the Ferrari lineups, that's for sure. As we switch over to my other co-com, Sauber, Ashton. Tier 1, it is Viper and Jake Attack. In Tier 2, it is Bevo and Bozza. And then in Tier 3, you have Almighty Gob and Kingy. Ashton, I reckon you'd be fairly happy with your picks this evening.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw my face after the draft lottery and saw my face now, I don't think you would think I'm the same person. I genuinely think I've got the best tier 1 driver lineup. Viper is absolutely rapid, and Chandler's is top 5 in the region. I've got no idea how he fell outside the top 10. So I'm absolutely stoked with tier 1. Tier 2, I think, is going to be my weakest tier. I do think Bevo and Bozza are really fast, but I'm just absolutely stoked with the lineup I've put together in tier 1 and tier 3. So Bevo, Bozza, hopefully they can prove me wrong in tier 2 being my weakest tier, but that is my early prediction. And then tier 3, Gob and Kingy. Kingy is really the only bloke I've talked to prior to the draft, so excited to work with him. He's definitely got some pace. I expect him to be probably him and Gob to be fighting for top 5s every week. So hopefully we can make a good assault at getting Sauber as back-to-back champions.
Yes, and I reckon you've got the team to do it. But yeah, great job with your picks, Ashton. As we head over to our final team, led by Logan, that is Williams, tier 1, Checkered Flag and Ecam, tier 2, a very strong tier 2 lineup in Toddy and Logan driving as TP, and then in tier 3, Matty AU and Evil Blade.
Unfortunately, I can't see the lineup. I've just my stream.
No, that's all right. I think Checkered Flag, he was probably a little bit unlucky. I think he went like pick 7, pick 8, something like that, where he could easily be a top 5. Ecam, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen a lot of them, so it'd be curious to see how they partner Checkered Flag. I think Toddy and Logan is probably alongside, I believe, Haas as the strongest tier 2 lineup pairing. Toddy, he could have nearly gone tier 1. Very impressive race around him at Monaco a couple of nights ago, and he was absolutely rapid. And Logan doing the preseason races earlier on, He looks super quick as well, so I think Toddy and Logan, that's going to be a very, very strong lineup. And then obviously we know how Matty AU is. Could be very, very strong in the tier 3 right up the front, and then Evil Blade as well. As I said before, raced him a little bit in Wallaby, and yeah, looking really good alongside Matty. And yeah, I think that's going to be a very strong Williams lineup as well. So I think we have said that there's probably a lot of teams that they've got really good, strong combinations, and I think it is going to be very, very hard to try and determine at least a favourite out of tonight. But again, it's 17 long rounds. Consistency will be the key tonight, fellas, or for the season.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, 17 rounds, the amount of novelties that can happen. You can be top halfway through the season at round 8, and then that's still, 9 races left to lose that grip, including 2 Enduros and a back-to-back race. I'm not too sure on the point format for that yet, but I'm assuming it will be somewhat rewarding. So, yeah, as Scotty has said, consistency will be key, and if you've picked yourself drivers who week in and week out can get 7 top 5 finishes, you are going to be, and realistically podium finishes, you're going to be within a very good chance of the overall constructors.
Yeah, exactly right. T8, thoughts coming into the season?
Well, it's exciting, isn't it? Drivers, longer calendar compared to last season. I'm just going to find the calendar. Yes, obviously new game, new faces. Looking forward to. We get it started in just over a week's time at Albert Park, and I've got some work to do of just getting used to the game. And once we hit the track on Monday, it's going to be excitement from there on. I don't know how much to sum it up there, other than I'm looking forward to it, really.
Yeah, I can't wait myself. Obviously, round 1 at Australia starting on the 7th of July for Tier 1, Monday night at 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. And as you can see on with the calendar, you got some really nice tracks, some interesting enduro races. Those particular tracks, obviously, Sprint at Spa could always cause a little bit of chaos, and then obviously the first reverse race at Austria on the 22nd to the 24th of September. So I really like that calendar, and it should be a really strong one. But that will wrap us up for the AUSF1 draft. Thank you very much for your company. Ashton, T8, thank you very much for helping me in the box while I try to fiddle around in the background. But went mostly smooth for the most part. But again, boys, thank you very much for hopping in with me.
No problem at all, Scotty. Good luck in Tier 2. Hopefully you can live up to the pick 3, or hopefully not, because I do want Zen to get the wooden spoon. So you can choose which one of those destinies you take, but you have executed this draft wonderfully once again, so thank you, Scotty.
No,
yeah,
thank you.
Following up from Ashton there, it's been a pleasure. Some great lineup informed tonight, and hats off to you, Scotty. Getting all those graphics organised for the league, we couldn't have done all this without you, so really appreciate that. And now it's time to look forward to racing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you everybody for watching this evening. We are only 8 days away from the season start, and that is the 7th of July. Round 1 at Australia, Monday Tier 1, Tuesday Tier 2, Wednesday Tier 3. So can't wait for the action to begin once again here at AUSF1. Thank you very much again for your company, and we will join you in just over a week's time for the opening round at Australia. So thank you very much and good night.